Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be talking about what is SideCar Container and how to use it. Let us look into it. Let us assume that I have a pod with a single container called main container, and that main container has a file called index.html. When you execute this pod in my Kubernetes, since it already has a port 80, I can access this application using the browser. So that means if you see here like 10.10.89.2:80/index.html, basically this index.html is nothing but the file inside the main container. So in this case, let us say that I got a requirement that I got a requirement saying that I need to access index.html from the different container, not from the main container. So for that, I need to create a second container. And second container name called SideCar. Okay, let's rename that and just differentiate that. Okay, so again I'm just telling the requirement. So I need to change the index.html and to call this index.html from the sidecar. Rest all the logic I need to use the same as main container, just I'm replacing the index.html that has to come from the sidecar container. So in order for me to do that, I need to do few things inside the pod. Let me do one after the other. Okay, before that, there are like different types of containers available in the Kubernetes. Sidecar is one among them, and there are like few more containers are there, like init container and adapter and ambassador. So yeah, I will put a different video for all of those containers, but in this video we will be focusing more on the sidecar container. The advantage of sidecar container is that both the containers can run in parallel together. That means that when you run this pod, both the container will be get executed at the same time. So okay, let us do the requirement. So for me to do that, to access the HTML from the sidecar, I basically need to create a volume mount. So volume mount is nothing but it is you are just creating a space for your pod, and this can be an internal volume mount, or you can attach your hard drive and then or pen drive, that you can define that pen drive as a volume mount. That means it can be detachable, it is not connected directly with your pod. Okay, so this is connected to your pod. Okay, the volume mount, let me write it as like volume mount. Okay, so there is a beauty of creating a volume mount is that any number of containers that running inside the pod can access that volume mount, like a volume mount and host name. All those features in Kubernetes are accessible by multiple containers within the same pod. So that means I can draw another line from my sidecar container. Okay, I think, and I need to attach some volume mount path to this volume mount. So that means that this one will have a dedicated folder and this one will have a dedicated folder within that volume mount. So for me, this requirement, I need this index.html in Nginx is going to be a user share nginx and html, I'm going to have that as my mount path. So let me put this mount path is equal to /user share okay. So yeah, this is what the skeleton of my pod also going to be look like. So basically what I'm going to do here in the pod is that I'm going to overwrite that index.html in the volume mount path. So when I go on it, this file will get overwritten in the main container. So when the application get launched by the browser, only the index.html will be replaced, but rest of the other business logic will remain as is. So I think you understand one of the scenario what I wanted to cover in this video is that you can have a dependency created. That means this main container is dependent with the sidecar container for the file index.html. Whenever you wanted to do, the volume mount can be a option to move that file to the volume mount, and you can copy over here. That way the file can be accessible between the two container. Okay, so let me go and show that in the actual Kubernetes cluster by demonstrating with a YAML file. So this is my Kubernetes cluster, and then I'm going to show you the file what I'm going to use and develop this YAML file. This is my simple YAML file with a single container and running on the port 8080. Let me go and create. Okay. It's running 7935. Okay, this is my HTML file that is coming from my main container. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a second container, and that will be having a different content of that index.html. When I load, you will see the different in the content. So let's go and create a second container. Before that, let me clear the screen. Okay, I'm going to create a second container called a sidecar. So I'm going to copy a couple of commands for the ease of time. Okay, so BC box is not the actual instance, so that means that it just like a utility, and that's the reason why I'm using a while command. I don't want this to get terminated. So that's one of the reasons why we are using while. That means to keep this container active and always running. So and then I'm just doing this echo, and redirecting that to index.html. So that means that the updated index.html will be containing like the index.html generated from this sidecar. So that is what we are trying to replace. So let me go and so basically let me show again. This will not work until we go and create the volume mount and the mount and attaching that mount path to that volume. Okay, so until then it was not going to work. We are just creating a two container, and these two containers going to share the same host name called demo.sidecar. So let us show running this Kubernetes, this particular demo sidecar. So one thing you need to understand, this command might be pretty useful when you do a troubleshooting, because we do have two container, and let me open that file again. So when you are doing a troubleshooting, you need to know the name of the container, because this is something what you can use to execute or logging into that container. So this is a command. Okay, if you see here, you already inside that inside the container called sidecar container, but whatever the file you create will not be available there. Reason is that we don't have this mount path, or we don't have the volumes get created. So two things we need to do now. One is that volumes to be created and attach this mount path to that volume. Okay, let us go and do it. So one more command which might be useful for you to know if it is mounted or not. So you can use this proc / mount. So when you execute this command, you can very well see if the mount, whatever that you have created in the mount path, whether that exists or not. You can go and check over here. Nginx. Okay, yeah, it is not found. So after we go and create, when you do the same command, you can find out the mount, what the volume and the mount path can be seen over here. That one I can show you once we go and create the volume and the mount path. Do a exit, kubectl delete. Okay, so now I'm going to create a volumes, and I'm going to create a mount path and attach that mount path to that volume whatever we are going to create. So let me go and do that. Okay, clear the screen. Okay, now I'm going to create a new volume. This can be any name. This is the default volume which comes as part of the Kubernetes. There are like several volumes there in Kubernetes where you can use those as well as the option. Maybe I will put a different video talking more about the volumes. There I can at least go and cover a couple of volumes options available in the Kubernetes. For now, let us use mtdir, which is the default Kubernetes volume. So now my volume name is shared HTML, and what are the mount path that I'm going to create, I need to attach to this volume name. So let us go and create the mount path for these two container and attach to shared -html. Okay, to make it easier, I'll copy these 3 lines. I'm going to do the same for the other container as well. Okay, so now I have created our mount path with this folder user share nginx HTML, and I'm attaching this mount path to this. I'm attaching this mount path to this one. This is nothing but what is the volume mount that we have created at the top. So let me go and save it. kubectl create. Okay, so what we have done so far, so we have created the volume mount, and then we have created the mount path and attaching to the volume mount. So let me go and see, there is an error. Let me see. Okay. Okay, there was a indentation. You have to be very careful while doing it, otherwise things might. So I found the issue, I fixed it. There was additional space. Let me go and run that. Okay. Yeah, so you see here the demo sidecar is got created, and with the IP, let me go back to my server. So I'm going to use with this IP 79.11. So previously the output, if you see the content is coming from the main nginx, the intent now here is to come from the sidecar. See, you see the difference here, the index.html generated from the sidecar. So I think we have achieved like one of the scenario of sharing the file between the 2 container, but in the real time, in most of the organization, they use sidecar for mainly to get the logs from the main container. So let me go and show my presentation again. So yeah, in this case we just accessing the file from one container to other container, but like concepts like a Prometheus, all that application works based on this sidecar container. So the log from the main container will be fetched to your volume mount with the help of the sidecar container. So the sidecar help you to take the output from your main container and store into the volume mount. The external application like a Prometheus, Splunk will use this log for the metrics and report generation and etc. So I'm going to do the same stuff here. Right now we have seen in scenario 1 copying the file. Now we are going to do the scenario 2, where I'm going to copy the log from the main container to the to the volume mount with the help of the sidecar. Let me stop that. Okay, so now I just just deleted the running part. I'm going to modify the existing YAML file. So in this time I'm to make the naming convention better, I'm going to change this volume as like shared logs to make sense for us to understand, but this can be any name, shared logs. And then because if you know this nginx, the nginx log path will be like /var/log nginx. So that is what is going to be my mount path. So I'm going to change the mount path from HTML page to slash where the log generates. That is going to be my mount path. Okay, I thought of showing something. Okay, anyway, I'll show that later. So same thing here. Okay, so I told you something that I will show you something, right? Let me show you that. Kubectl execute -t and so I told you other day, sometime back, sorry. So let me proc /mods. So if you see here, whatever the path that I have created will be visible here. Let me see here. Here, yeah, this is the one I was referring. So this is the path will be accessible in both the containers. So whatever the volume mount that you are creating, and this is my mount path I'm attaching to that volume. So when you create a volumes and attach to the mount path, that means that both the container, in this case both the containers have the same path. I can access this directly from both the containers. So going back here, so I need to verify my log. Okay, like log. So it is empty because we are not accessing any of this application, but let me go and do it. Basically, for you to generate something in the log, you need to access your application. That's why whenever you hit the URL, it will redirect to that particular log file. That is how we have written it. before that I need to know, sorry, okay, I need to know the IP, and so that's why I logged out again. 20. You see here, whenever you hit the URL, you will see that this will get added on the access.log. So I can do that tail -f. So you see that whenever I refresh the page, you will see that is a log will get appended to the access.log. So most of the technology companies like a Splunk and those under Prometheus, they use this technology like taking the logs from the volume mount, and then they use for the reporting and even for troubleshooting, archiving, all that stuff you can do once you download, once you generate a log and store it in a separate volume mount. I hope you understand the necessity of the sidecar container in the Kubernetes. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe it.